there was a question from YouTube, where please ask more questions. I am going to use those to make these videos from now on, since I'm ramping all this stuff up. So the question was, how much exposure should I do for a certain amount, for a certain situation in an anxiety hierarchy? So for one particular item on a hierarchy, how much exposure do I need to do? Quick bit of background: anxiety hierarchy is just taking the things that you are anxious of or that you're avoiding, and then rank ordering them from kind of the easiest stuff up to the hardest. That's the hierarchy. And in graduated exposure treatment, we start low and we slowly move our way up to harder items over time. So the question of like how long to spend on each step, the basic rule for that is, it's a little bit subjective, but really you want ideally just to be no longer anxious of it. So where it's not triggering to you. It's a choice of what number out of 100 that is. Like, let's say you've started with something and it's an 80. You don't just do it once and then move on, because you haven't given your brain enough chance to update. So with exposure, it's repeated. You do it again and again and again and again. And what we find for research is the first time you do it, it goes up really high, and then after, if you stick with it, it comes down. But then when you go do it again, it's going to go up again. It's going to go up again. But each time you do it, the peak is going to be a little bit lower, little bit lower, little bit lower. So for me, it's kind of like, I think it's been kind of subjective. If it's getting to the point where it's boring, then it's definitely time to move on. We don't want you to rush through it. So I would aim for maybe get it to half. Like that's generally my basic. It's obviously negotiable, but very basic. Aim 50%. If before it was giving you an 80, now it's giving you a 40, yeah, then you can think about moving on. But yeah, you're going to have to do it repeatedly to get to that point. You don't want to rush through this, because then you haven't really done the exposure. You want to give your system, your emotional brain, a chance to realize this is safe. Not just the logical brain going, oh, it's safe. You want this part to have done it enough times. It has to learn through experience. But I think 50% is fine, but it's subjective. No need to go all the way down to zero, and don't just do it once.